Hey guys, I got a different review for you today. This is going to be a review on the Winbook TW700 tablet. Now this is a 7-inch tablet that runs full Windows 8.1. So this doesn't use Windows RT like the Surface RTs, which were the cheaper Surfaces compared to the Surface Pros. This is the full-blown Windows 8, and you can install legacy software on this even. The best part is it's only $70 at Micro Center or Amazon. Now there are some limitations. It uses the Intel Bay Trail T processor, so it's not that powerful, and it also only has 16 gigabytes. That means after Windows takes up half of it, you're only left with about 7 or 8 gigabytes for software. You can put a micro SD card up to 64 gigabytes, but it won't let you install more software on that. Besides how amazing the price is, it comes with a free year of Office 365. So if you don't know what that is, it's a subscription-based Microsoft Office where you pay $7 a month, or $6 or $7 a month, and you just always have the most up-to-date version. So you're basically getting a free tablet for the price of subscribing to Office 365. So here you can see the specs, and if you want to pause it you can, but there's 1 gig of RAM, it's 1.3 gigahertz processor, quad-core, 7-inch multi-touch screen, front and rear camera, which personally I think is a little pointless. I think a front one would have been good enough just for Skype. But it also has 802.11b GRN Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0. So like I said, it's not the most powerful tablet, but for my purposes it's going to be perfect. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But in addition to charging over micro USB, this has a full USB 2.0 port, so you can hook up any sort of USB device like a keyboard and mouse, or you can hook up multiple things with a USB hub. Besides that, it also has a micro HDMI port, so you can hook this up to a monitor. In a way, you can basically get a full-blown $70 desktop with all the connections available for you. So here you can see right when I open it, the tablet's right at the front. It's a pretty simple design. Comes with the micro USB charging cable like I mentioned. So your Office 365 just comes as a redeemable code, which I am going to obviously block. Some warranty card. Again, you can pause this if you need to, if you want to read it. I'm not going to go over all of this. And here's the manual. It's just a quick start guide. There's not a whole lot to it. It's pretty much just like any other Windows computer or Windows tablet. Since this is pretty cheap, it doesn't have a touch-sensitive Windows button like most Windows tablets, but it does have a physical button, which I think I would prefer for something like this anyways. So I'll show the ports that I was mentioning while looking at the box. From right to left, it's micro USB, which you charge through, USB 2.0, headphone jack, micro SD card, and micro HDMI. Nothing on two of the other sides. Then on the other side we got the power button, the volume rocker, and the Windows button. So the one on the right is the power button. So I'm starting it up for the first time, and it's gonna initially start with a setup screen. Now, I'm not going to show all of the setup just because I am going to be entering some personal information. So after I finish the setup, so now you can see the usual Windows 8 desktop. I logged into my Outlook account and actually set it up just like my Surface Pro's desktop, but I should note that most of these apps aren't actually downloaded, so I would have to download them, so I didn't get all of this onto it right away. Now it asks if you want some sort of protection, virus protection. I'm going to opt out of that. And it's nice that they actually ask you instead of just installing it in the factory. You can see besides the recycling bin on the desktop, there's that pogo icon, which I believe is like Dropbox, so you can get up to 10 gigs with them, but I just erased it or deleted it eventually. Now jumping ahead to the system and security, I'm just going to show you the system specs just like the back of the box. So obviously one issue people may have with this is there is only a 7-inch screen on this model, and I believe there's an 8-inch model also, but it can make it pretty tough to use your fingers on the really tiny desktop icons. Now I'll show you why I think it's a great dashcam companion. Now before anyone says you can do a lot of this on Android, I will get to that later in the video. But here you can see I have GUI format, the Mobius utility, and VLC player. I also plan on installing the Inov camera apps also, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. So actually a few days before I bought this, I had to format a memory card while I was on the road, and I wasn't able to do that. If I had my Surface Pro with me I would be able to, but I don't always carry that around, especially because it's over $1,000, at least when I bought it. So it's something expensive to always have on me. Now here you can see it just has a normal micro SD card slot like any other Windows tablet. And what's special about GUI format or GUI format is it'll actually let you format any memory card in FAT32. So this is a 64 gigabyte memory card, and using FAT32 it'll work in some dash cams that only support 32 gigabytes, when in reality they just support FAT32. So there I formatted it, and now you can see I have about 59 gigabytes, and this will work in my Blackview cameras that only support 32 gigabytes. I typically have to format them about once a month. Sometimes after a while it'll tell me to check the memory card, and after I format it, it's just fine. So here I also have VLC player. You can also download this on Android and I'm sure iOS. But the main reason I got this, even though I already have a 7-inch Galaxy Tab, is because I had so many issues with it. It didn't have OTG or USB on the go, so I couldn't use it as a host device to change my settings on my Mobius. And besides that, the Mobius app only worked about 10% of the time. It would never save the settings. So it basically became worthless for the original reason that I got it. So here I'm just searching on YouTube. I'm going to do a quick demonstration on the speakers. It does actually have stereo speakers. So there's my beginner's guide. Not at the top of the list, unfortunately.
Hey guys, this video is going to be a buyer's guide to dash.
So the speakers are nothing amazing, but they definitely get the job done. I wouldn't say they're any worse than most other tablets about this size.
Hey guys, this video is going to be a buyer's guide to dash cams. There are often a lot of questions regarding dash cams, such as why own one, why don't you use
So overall, I'm satisfied with the sound quality. It's nothing special, like I said, but not bad either. So here, like I said, there's no touch button like on the Surface. The Windows button is a physical key, which I think I actually like for something like this, which I plan on always having in the car or on the go. So here's my first generation Surface Pro with a touch keypad, or the touch cover. Just trying to get it to wake up there. So you'll see the desktop looks pretty much exactly the same. So you can see it's significantly smaller. The Surface Pro is about a 10.6 inch screen, I believe, or something around there. And like I said, the desktops are the same because I used my Microsoft account. I plan on upgrading the Surface to Surface Pro 4 when that comes out later this year, but again, that's not something I want to always have in my car or with me in my backpack or whatever, because it's really expensive. It's more of my laptop replacement. So now I want to do a quick comparison of my Galaxy Tab 4 7-inch. So they're same size screen, they're roughly the same specs. The Galaxy Tab has a 1.2 gigahertz processor, but it's not an Intel processor. It's going to be different. It's hard to compare because this is obviously running Android. So there you can see the Mobius app, the Blackview app, the VLC app. So the main reason I actually got it was for dash cams. You can see they're pretty similar thickness, but the Winbook is a little bit thicker. I actually really like the feel of the Winbook more. It's got a softer, almost rubbery back to it. Although the Galaxy Tab definitely looks fancier. They both have the same 1280 by 800 resolution. And it might be because of my background on my Tab, but it does actually look like a better screen. So here you can see I added the OtterBox Defender Series case to it, which obviously makes it a lot thicker. But this is one of the reasons why I got this tablet to begin with. I love the Defender Series OtterBoxes. Besides the plastic case on the inside, there's the rubber that goes around that, and then this plastic bumper case that goes around the rubber, so it's almost like 3 layers of protection. And like you just saw, you can flip that around and it acts as a big screen protector. Now there is no OtterBox case like this for Winbook. I would hope that OtterBox would make one if these get any more popular, but I'm not counting on it. So overall, I'm really happy that I bought this. It was only $70, which was more than half the price than the Galaxy Tab 4 7-inch version, and the OtterBox case alone was $60 some. So I paid almost about the same price as just the OtterBox case for this tablet, and it comes with full Windows 8.1 and year of Office 365, which is about a $60 to $70 value right there alone. While I can't use this to use a Blackview app like Android or iOS, I do have an iPhone, so if I want to transfer a file over from my Blackview, I just transfer it over to my phone anyways. The benefit of this is I can format memory cards in my car or on the go wherever I am, and that is a huge plus for me because I'm using so many dash cameras and so many memory cards that sometimes I really need to format a memory card. And like I said earlier, I'm using sometimes cards that aren't officially supported by cameras, like a 64 gigabyte card in a camera that only supports 32 gigabytes, so that GUI format tool really helps when I'm on the road. Not only that, I was a former Galaxy Note user, and that was actually stolen out of my car a couple hours after I ordered my first Blackview camera. I decided to go back to iPhones because due to my job, I was plugging my phone in and out constantly in my car, and it was really killing the micro USB cables. So I was going through micro USB cables pretty fast because the connector would get bad really quickly when I was plugging it in 50 times a day. So I went with the iPhone 5S because I really like the lightning cable, and I plan on going back to the Note once USB Type-C is used in them. So when I have that, my Galaxy Tab would have been redundant anyways. I don't want a 7-inch tablet that's not as good as my Note is going to be. So I think this covers my grounds a lot better, and like I said, it's only $70. You can't go wrong with only $70. One last thing I do want to point out about Galaxy tablets, or phones at least, is the fact that the memory card slot is behind the faceplate. That's something that always drove me crazy and was really inconvenient. If you don't have a black view camera or any other sort of Wi-Fi camera, then what's a pain in the ass is if you want to back up the file from the memory card to another device like a tablet or phone, you have to take the back plate off, which I really thought was inconvenient with all of the Galaxy tablets and phones. I like that this Windows tablet has a standard micro SD card slot where you just can access it from the side and you don't have to take off any sort of back plate. So I would highly recommend this tablet, not only just for dash cameras, but just for a really cheap full Windows 8 tablet. I think it's a great deal, and it comes with Office 365. But it also makes a really good dash cam companion. If you don't have a Wi-Fi camera, or if you want to be able to back up files to a separate device besides your phone or whatever you want to use, this is a really great option because it's really cheap. If you leave it in your car, you don't have to worry about it getting stolen, as opposed to something like a Surface Pro or an iPad that's really expensive. This is especially great for iPhone users like me, where of course Apple doesn't have micro SD card slots on any of their devices. So if you want to back up a file and your camera doesn't have Wi-Fi, this is a great option, and it's really easy, cheap, and convenient. On top of that, like I said earlier, the GUI format utility is awesome for formatting memory cards. Even my Blackview 650, which supported 64 gigabyte memory cards, had a lot of issues when I formatted a 64 gigabyte card in it. So when I used the GUI format, it worked perfectly and the video recorded perfectly, so I've been using that ever since. So anyways, if you like this video or my other videos, I appreciate if you hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate the subscribers. It keeps me going, and I love to put effort and time into this channel. So if anyone has any products or suggestions for me to review, I will try to get to them if I can, if you leave a comment down below. So drive safe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.